Hey friends, and welcome back to Gardening Suburbia. My name is Amanda. If you're new here, welcome. If not, thanks for coming back. Today we are seeding some trays of corn. So if I would have had a little more forethought, I probably would have started this process like a week or so before now, because I went ahead and I harvested all of that broccoli, which I can still go ahead and harvest the leaves off of to make broccoli salad, but that space needs to be filled, and currently I don't really have anything set up to be replacing the broccoli, and so I just kind of have it chilling in that space. So last night I was thinking, okay, I need to start the corn. I went ahead and grabbed all of the different varieties of corn that I have. So I had some Jim's glass corn, which is like a really crazy, like, you can kind of see those kernels in there, like blues and reds and purples kernels. And then I have some sweet honey and cream variety from, I think it's Botanical Interests, and then just like another burpee, bantam variety. And I just kind of mixed them all together and I let them soak in some water. I put this in water this morning around like 7 o'clock. It is now almost 6. So they've been soaking for almost 12 hours. And I honestly have never soaked corn. I've always just kind of plopped it in some moist soil and then just kind of crossed my fingers and hoped for the best. Soaking those harder shelled seeds in water just kind of loosens things and like gets it a head start. I saw someone do this with corn and I was like, ooh, awesome, I'm gonna try that too. So we have a ton of corn in here. I may end up just popping if I don't have enough room in my, well, you can't see it. If I don't have enough room in this seed tray, which I went ahead and just filled it with I think it's the Garden Magic compost. Just filled them all so I can have, so I had a fresh start and everything was set and ready to go, so I could show you guys my process. But any of the corn that I have left that isn't seeded in that tray, I'll go ahead and probably just pop in the garden somewhere and hope for the best. We are getting close to harvesting the garlic. From what I've read, this is my first year growing garlic. I planted my garlic out in October of last year. Let it overwinter with some thick mulch, and then this spring we had sprouts, and that was really exciting, and I'm still super excited because this is the best my garlic has ever looked. A couple seasons ago, I tried buying garlic cloves from like Home Depot or something. Planted it, got to the point where I was ready to harvest, and I harvested, and my cloves, I kid you not, my cloves were like the size of like silver dollars. Super tiny, like almost to the point that you wouldn't even want to peel them because the cloves are like, teeny tiny. So I went ahead and I braided it anyways and put it in my pantry, and it was in there for a while. I think I did try to peel some of it, but it got to the point where it was really tedious and not really worth it. So bought garlic from a seed company. It looks phenomenal. You can tell basically the size of what your approximate garlic head will be based on how thick the stalk is. And those stalks out there are pretty thick. So I'm super excited. But once your garlic gets or develops scapes, that is basically where the garlic will flower. You have about 4 weeks until you're ready to harvest. You can also tell when you're ready to harvest when about 2/3 of the stalk has brown leaves. So we're getting close, which means I need to have a plan in place if I want to go ahead and have something to plant pretty soon after I harvest that garlic. So what I'm doing is prepping my corn stalks to be then planted out where my garlic will go. I do need to actually do a little more research and figure out pretty sure garlic is a heavy nitrogen feeder, so I will probably use like blood meal. Yeah. blood meal. This is organic and it has high nitrogen. So super stinky, as most really good fertilizers are super stinky because they're derived from like fish kelp, fish, the stinky stuff. The stinky stuff is the good stuff. So I probably will have to amend that bed before I plant out my next crop. But I want to make sure that I have things set up so that I can harvest, plant, you know, have some really good succession. Plus, I'm super excited for corn. The stupid song is playing in my head. I'm not going to do it to you guys, but I probably already did, so sorry. I also wanted to mention that this past weekend I went to the Homestead Festival. I got to meet so many incredible people, and it was super inspirational, and I also geeked out way too much. I was definitely that nervous person that didn't say much, and what I did say was really awkward and weird. Maybe it wasn't as weird as I remember it, but I got to meet Jess at Roots and Refuge, and we hadn't eaten food yet. We had burgers in hand. No one was in line to see her, and I of course got in line. And I was like, oh, I'm just gonna do it. So I got in line, and she said that I looked familiar, which was shocking. I think that was what really threw me through the loop. And also Jill from Whispering Willow Farm also said that I looked familiar. It's probably because I've like reposted a couple of their things. I think I tagged Jill one time when I bought her harvest basket, which is super cool. But Jess said she recognized me, or thought we had met before, and we had not. And I don't know what was said, but then I was like, it's awesome. And just kind of smiled, and she said, yeah, and laughed. We took our picture, and I got out of the line so fast. I was like, I'm nearly tearing up thinking about this encounter I had. But I was almost tearing up while taking the picture. My friend May was like, on point. She saw that I was getting nervous and like the tears were coming, so she got those pictures real fast. So thank you, May. Maybe one day I won't be weird in person, but for now I'm pretty weird in person. So be grateful that you guys get to see me on this side of the camera and not in person. All right, so I have 1/2-inch holes in all of these. I'm gonna just plant one. Well, I missed some. I'm just gonna go ahead and plant one seed per hole, which is gonna be good. We're gonna see how germination rate goes. I'm just gonna dump all of this water into the tray. I will need to water these still. But my thought is I'll leave these outside so that they can be hardened off as they grow, because they'll be outside. So I won't need to do anything special. So I'm just gonna go ahead and drop one piece of corn per hole. And because I soaked these, they will need to be planted. If not, they'll just rot or sprout and then rot. Guess I could have made my holes just a little bigger, but it's okay. Yeah, definitely gonna, I think, start another tray of corn, just because I feel like I didn't even make a dent. So I'm just gonna go ahead and push these guys down a little bit, and then I'll cover them. Okay, so I have just about half of these left. I'm really hoping that these make this tray full, and I don't have too many extra, but I'm probably gonna have extra. That's just how it goes. So I'm just gonna start plopping these guys, one per hole, just like the other tray. Dogs are going crazy in my neighborhood tonight. That's still a ton of corn. So this one is all done. I'm gonna use my pencil and just kind of poke these guys down a little further so they're not at the top of the soil. Some of these I accidentally planted too. One of these I planted too because the seed looks a little rotten. So I figured I'd try two, and one would make it, then great. If not, then I'll get 2 per and I'll just have to thin it. Alright, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and cover these guys. Okay, so we have this tray filled. I've got a tray down here on the ground behind me that you can't really see. So that's 2 trays of corn. I'm gonna have so much corn, I'm not gonna know what to do with it, but I think that's a good problem to have. I still have a couple kernels in this jar. I think I'm gonna go ahead and seed or replace some of the ones that are up on my balcony. They probably will end up getting taken out anyway because my dog runs on the balcony and like will turn around over the top of the corn and basically mow the corn down. But I'm gonna do it anyway because otherwise these guys will be garbage. And then, so I got 2 full trays seeded with corn, as well as like 4 more 6Ls of corn. So lots and lots of corn to come. At the Homestead Festival, Baker Creek had a booth where they were giving away free seed packets. I picked up a pack of watermelon Wilson Sweet. I'm super excited for this. So I'm thinking I'm gonna go ahead and plant it on the edge of my pepper bed and let it drape into my yard. Seems to be the spot that gets the most sun, and these guys need full sun. So here's 2 potential watermelon. So pepper bed's getting watered right now. This is my Jarradale, yeah, pumpkin, or sweet meat pumpkin. He's looking really good. He was a transplant, which they say transplants don't work well for pumpkins, but he's thriving. He only had 1 leaf when I put him in. Now he's growing a couple more. So I'm gonna put the watermelon right here. I think I'm gonna go ahead and plop this over like this. This stupid mining thing. So I'm gonna pop the end of this here so that the watermelon gets water. So I got 3 seeds. One is like half, so that one won't germinate, but I'll put it in the ground because it'll get recomposted in the ground and used as nutrients. So I'm gonna put one up here, put one there, and I'll put another one right there. And then, so that is the Wilson's Sweet Watermelon. Hopefully we have watermelon here growing. Peppers are looking good though. I'm gonna go ahead and water those trays in pretty well, bottom watering them, just to make sure that they have enough moisture. And then I'll just go ahead and leave those guys outside while everything is germinating. I may cover them with some chicken wire just to make sure that the squirrels don't dig them up in the meantime. Yeah, thank you guys so much for joining me. We're on our next step of getting this garden succession sown, which is awesome. Definitely utilizes all of the space that I have by doing another round of something else. So if you guys want to go ahead and check out any of my other content, I'll go ahead and pop a video up here for you. But until next time, thank you guys so much for joining me, and I'll see you in the next one.